And welcome back. Delmarva, a search warrant has led to the arrest of a man in Milford. On Wednesday, police say a drug investigation led to the seizure of over 12 grams of suspected heroin. Detectives executing the search warrant at a home on Northwest 4th Street, where they found 410 doses of heroin, leading to the arrest of 29-year-old Tavon Potts. Now, Potts is being held on $50,000 cash bond. Moving on here, Delaware marijuana advocates are speaking out, concerned after it was revealed that there have been delays ahead of the launch of recreational sales. The delays reportedly have to do with background checks that have not yet been completed for the roughly 120 selected applicants who were chosen for licenses in the state lottery. Now, this has some worried that medical dispensaries could actually be the first ones to start selling, a move that Zoe Patchell with the Delaware Cannabis Advocacy Network says could be disastrous for small business and in direct contradiction of the bill that was passed that legalized it.
We're calling for urgent actions to address the missteps that are causing the delays, and we want the intention of the legislation to be implemented where all new businesses get to compete alongside these larger corporate entities, to implement a fair market.
Now, we have reached out to the Office of the Marijuana Commissioner for a response, but have not heard back. Meanwhile, in Maryland, the Eastern Shore delegation discussing many topics today, the big ones being the state budget and energy. WMDT's Blake Lipton has the details.
Eastern Shore lawmakers presented a county revenue outlook providing a snapshot of the fiscal health of county governments in Maryland. Delegate Chris Adams says one of the biggest challenges will be whether the state will be willing to pass unfunded mandates down to the county level.
What this means really for Eastern Shore citizens is their tax rates, their rates on their property are going up, and that's how we're unfortunately going to be funding Maryland. So not only is it a tax increase that we're going to be talking about at a state level for the state budget, it's that citizens for these property taxes is going to fund a lot of the unfunded mandates coming down to the counties.
But they weren't just talking money at the state level. They were also talking about money in your pocket, specifically when it comes to Delmarva Power and rising energy costs the public has been seeing.
The real lion's share of this really is driven by usage.
Delmarva Power Director of External Affairs Marcus Beal told lawmakers there have been a limited number of rate increases over the years, all which they have notified the public on. He says a reason for a lot of increase in costs is simply the amount of usage by customers.
We saw about a 1% increase on bills due to supply, right? And that's, again, the cost of energy itself. We had about a 2% due to kind of those policies that you're mentioning, different programs. And then there's a variable rate. It's about 6% in our actual distribution.
Yeah, for more information, visit the Department of Legislative Services website at dls.maryland.gov. Well, at this time, we're going to throw things over to meteorologist Eric Alf, who's standing by. Eric, we're looking at a roller coaster of weather over the course of the next week.
Definitely a lot of systems moving through, and tomorrow is going to be no exception with a wintry mix in play for tomorrow. And there could even be a brief time of some slushy wet snow for a couple of hours through the late morning and maybe into the early afternoon for further northern areas. But I think the biggest problem is going to be the wintry mix and freezer rate, though. There certainly could be a little bit of a slushy coating, maybe up to ½ an inch. But definitely watch out for the sleet and freezing rain through the afternoon hours. And by the time we get to later in the evening towards 12 p.m., the rain snow line will continue to move northward. And by the time we get to Saturday night, I think all of us, while chilly, will be above freezing with just a few lingering rain showers out and about by then. But quiet for tonight. High pressure will be in control. Live look at Rehoboth Beach. The more roofing and siding sky cam winds have calmed down from earlier today, and we're dropping through the 30s. And we're going to stay on the dry side for tonight, but we're watching this batch of moisture that's going to be moving through and eventually arriving by us by tomorrow morning. And it's going to be interacting with this area of low pressure crossing through the Central Plains right now, which will be tracking to our north. And because it's going to be tracking to our north, there will be some warmer air trying to filter on in, so we're going to be dealing with some mixing. You'll see on Futurecast at 9 a.m. temperatures in the 30s, and we got some wet snow and wintry mix arriving to areas like Crisfield and Wallops Island, continuing to move northward throughout the course of the day. This is at 12 p.m. A little bit of light snow and a wintry mix for southern areas continue to move north by around 4 p.m. We should to be a chilly but regular rain for around Salisbury, Crisfield, Wallops Island, around Ocean City, but some sleet and freezer rain potentially for areas like Easton and Cambridge, the Upper Shore, northern Delaware, with temperatures right around that 32-degree mark. So I would watch out for some slick spots around that time for these areas. But we should transition to a chilly rain by the time we get to Saturday night. This is at Sunday at 12 a.m. A few lingering regular rain showers, just a bit on the chilly side, with temperatures around the mid up to 30s to around 40 degrees the further south you go. So definitely watch out for a glaze of ice for especially the Upper Shore, parts of the Midshore, and especially northern Delaware. But I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we even get a little bit of a glazing of ice for areas in Sussex County. So definitely watch out for that. But again, the good news is that we won't be getting above freezing Saturday night, which will melt some of that icing. Then by the time we get to Super Bowl Sunday, it will be a partially sunny sky and a dry day. But keep in mind that it will be breezy with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour at times, with temperatures at around 50 degrees. So fairly nice day, but a bit on the breezy side. Tonight, we'll go with 25 to 30 degrees with a partly cloudy sky, clouds increasing going into tomorrow, snow to a wintry mix, and then some plain rain during the afternoon with chilly temperatures in the upper 30s, maybe a few lower 40s. So Super Bowl Sunday looking good, 49 degrees, partially sunny but breezy. Less wind on Monday, partially sunny but cooler. And then we're going to be watching for Tuesday. Could be some snow in a wintry mix by then. Back to you.
Thanks, Eric. Stick around. The Super Bowl is almost here. The latest on a surprise return, an Eagles star. You're watching DSI.
How you doing? This is Jake Coleman, head football coach Steve Decatur, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Inside.